no matter how many rigs you've owned, how many travel trailers, Class A's, or whatever you have, it's always something. When you're living in these things full time, you're using things more continuously, just like a house. So I've come across and learned something new. We've owned a 1972 Corsair, 72 Airstream, an 85 Airstream, a 64 Airstream, all trailers, a 95 Mothership, which you've seen in some of these videos, and now the Newmar. Not one of the following, the past tow trailers or motorhomes had this thing. I've learned from a couple of good friends, Chuck and Terry and Jerry and Cheryl, that there's these things called anode rods. Yeah, they don't look like this. This is just a part box. But what it is a lot of campgrounds are well water. They're hard water. So when you live in an RV, you have to have a filter for the whole house. So it kind of filters the water. Even though we don't drink water at the campgrounds, we still like to filter it for cooking and everything else. But the anode rod helps your hot water heater, and it collects all of the hard water and the elements on this thing here. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how I'm going to change the anode rod out. It's a pretty simple process, really. The only tool you'll probably need is a 1 1/16, usually comes in a inch drive ratchet, or you could get an extension for your 3/8 drive to half inch drive, I'm sorry. And that's it. The parts, I got them from Amazon. Camping World wanted, believe it or not, $25 for one. And I have a Suburban 10-gallon water heater, so I'm hoping that this fits. I haven't tested before recording this. So I got a 2-pack from Amazon for 15 bucks. Apparently every 6 months you should be changing these out. I think we'll measure that based on how corroded the one that is currently in there is. But first things first, what I want to do is shut the hot water tank off. And I did that last night before getting up this morning to do this project. You want to shut your pump off if you're using pump to pump water into your home. Ours is shut off in there because we've been using a direct city connect, which looks like this here. Now that stops any water going into the hot water tank, because you're not going to want water to go in there. So that's done. And now let's head on over here to the hot water tank, which is right here. Get that out and I'll bring you along for more fun and excitement. What I'm going to do, let some of that water pressure out. One mistake I made when you're changing this 1 1/16 nut on your water heater is get an extension. It wouldn't fit with just a socket and the ratchet. So let me try that again. All right, here's an idea of what was in there and what needs to be in there. So that's how bad the hard water can be. As you can see, this thing's just so full of rust. What you want to do is use this, put it in here, and let it rip. Okay, wrap that up with some tape, plumber's tape, which is right there. And we should be all set to install it. What I've done is made sure I rinsed it out for about 10-15 minutes with high pressure with my nozzle. And there was a lot of sediment. You might be able to see the white stuff there that was inside that tank that this little thing will collect. You do want to make sure. I cleaned out the threads with this wire brush before putting that in. But you do want to make sure you tighten it up pretty decent so it doesn't leak when you're all finished. And make sure that thing goes in straight. If it's not straight, you could strip those threads out and be up Schitt's Creek. Now for the moment of truth. All right, seems to be holding up. I got it tight enough. And we'll just double check that later on to make sure it's okay. So that in a nutshell is how you change the anode rod. And as you've seen, the anode rod didn't exist. So I guess that confirms that when you're living full-time in an RV that you should be changing them out once every 6 months, at least to be on the safe side. All of that rod collects any of the sediment, the rust, the corrosion. And instead of those sediments rotting out your hot water tank, it rots out that rod. There in a nutshell. That is it in a nutshell. So hey, thanks for stopping by. We're gonna go check out some more of Eastern Pennsylvania here and on the next video actually, and I hope this video didn't bore you to death. It didn't bore me because I never knew they existed until just these last couple months. So I hope I've enlightened some of you. It's one of those facts that mostly I don't know about, and a lot of RV owners probably don't know about it either. So, hey, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe below. Stop back next time. Hit that alert button so you know when I uploaded something new. Appreciate each and every one of you.